What up, folks? Let me know when you guys come in. Hit me with some comments. Yeah, we should be good. All right, guys. Hell yeah. I was watching this video earlier and I was like, damn, um, I had so many things going on in my mind while I was watching it. What's up, Press Hard? Good to see you. So I was like, you know what, man? Why do I not just go live real quick? And I watched this shit. We'll just throw some comments out there. And so let's watch this shit together. And you guys could definitely let me know what you think in the comment section as well, because that shit is hella important.
I'm New York City Police. I mean, I thought it was the most ridiculous. No, not the most ridiculous thing. Shorts. The shorts on a police officer. Ridiculous.
We wanted to know how professionals have changed over time, so we got 3 different experts from multiple decades to share their experiences.
I worked for the New York City Police Department from 1969 to 1996.
I served in the New York City Police Department for 20 years, from 1986 to 2006.
I served as a member of the New York City Police Department from 2003 to 2023.
Experts, huh? Shit. I bet you none of them can state the First Amendment. We're the experts.
Oh yeah, and this is the Plymouth Fury, the 8 cylinders. They were good cars. And then they changed over to the blue cars.
But the Grand Fury, I liked it. It wasn't the fastest car in the world, had a V8. What I loved about it was, if you look at the front and the back, they're almost identical. It made it easy, it was narrow, great visibility. The K car in the back, they only had 1 or 2 of them when I was around. They were all busted up. Then we went to the Impalas. I didn't particularly care for the Impalas at all. I wasn't a fan.
So this is a Ford Crown Victoria, or Crown Vic as we
Shit.
like to call it. This was one of the first cars that I rode in. It felt more like driving a boat, the Ford Interceptor SUV. When they first started implementing these cars, only the bosses rode around in these cars. And then some years later, they integrated them into Patrol. So this was a real luxury to ride in. Super fast, handled great. It was just more modern coming from the Crown Vic to this.
Damn, she said nothing about how did it go fast? You know, was it better for, made it easier for her job? Like, she was just like, that was luxury. Like, thanks for that luxury. What's up, real Jingy?
The bubblegum, and a bubblegum top. Just the one light on the top. Now with these cars, you had the rack up here, and you had inside, and it was a better setup and better communications. And then years later, of course, they put computers in. They had found that the siren here in the old cars, they weren't heard as well. This was a straight sound. You turned it on, that was the alarm. Here, you could have 3 different types of alarms.
The original siren.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, this shit's kind of boring if they're not gonna talk about the real shit. I don't want to hear about how comfortable and the lights and all that shit. I want to hear about policing and beating the shit out of people and violating rights. That's what I want to hear about. What about you guys?
When I first started the Grand
Fast forward just a little bit.
People get out of the way for you.
Whatever
the
someone
sirens,
eats,
homie.
everyone thinks their food smells good until the next person has to
Food.
smell it.
and there was always an excuse.
Guys ever get punished for
So that shit says they're experts, but they're experts on food?
Yeah, this is one of the stories that some people used to do. If one particular guy would leave the car awful all the time, they'd go down, if they had a stable, they'd go down and put horse manure on top of the air filter just before the end of the tour. And when the guy came in and relieved him and
Cool. So cops played pranks on each other.
started up the car, they go,
Nicer than the car I rode in. It has all its hubcaps, which is very rare. Our cars typically did not look like this, and it figures because it is a highway patrol car.
The guys are pretty abusive.
People like to pick at the steering wheel, so there was always little pieces of it missing for some reason.
Experts on bullshit.
This is the
that's
regular
right.
38 caliber service revolver. It's a 6-shooter.
It's what I started out with in the police department from 1986 till probably early 90s, 94. So this is a Glock 19 pistol. It was one of the service pistols that was available to us when the job transitioned to 9mm.
I carried a Glock 19. 9mm, it holds 15 rounds. Using a revolver, it's slow on the reload.
It was very difficult to load and reload. You'd have to put the bullets in one at a time. Then they came with these speed loaders, which were made of like rubber. You had it on your belt, and you take the speed loader out and you could put it there, but it never went in exactly right. The left militants, they were using bombs and they were using 9mm.
Criminals are carrying these guns, and we were kind of being outgunned in terms of capacity. Other than capacity, I never really felt outgunned with it.
So a trigger pull makes the gun harder to fire. This gun actually has a trigger pull of anywhere between 11 and 12 pounds. It's a very hard pull. I think the newer models that they have in 2021, they have a 5-pound trigger pull.
It has a trigger pull. It's double action, single action guns.
Robert Rhodes says, I think there's a lot of great police officers and a few bad ones, just like all other people I've known in life. Man, a lot of people might disagree with you on that. For one, even if a cop is, let's say, a good person at heart and shit like that, they still have to do what they're told. And I would say 99.999% of cops will do as they're told. Whether it's, turn the other cheek, ignore this civil rights violation. Cops have this policy to never tarnish the reputation of the department and stuff like that. So you got to think about that. Even if you're a good person at heart, being a cop, eventually you might lose your moral compass. I just reviewed a video from Patrick Bet-David when he interviewed Sheriff Judd, right, from Florida, Polk County, and he's always going viral. And I called out a lot of bullshit on that. You're definitely gonna see how much bullshit that guy that falls out of his mouth when he talks, and I'm gonna point a lot of shit out. For instance, now he's making the image of the department almost seem like uncorruptible, but he forgot to leave out the part that his whole damn department doesn't have body cams. So yeah, of course you're gonna paint your image to be fucking, flawless, and nobody sees what the cops do that's wrong out there. Making sense? Let's keep watching.
So the double action pull is a little on the long and stiff side.
Did you ever have to pull your gun?
Oh yeah. One time there was a man with a gun, and we go down in the basement, he's got a rifle pointed at me. I had my gun out. So I disarmed him. Many times I could have used my weapon and it would have been what they call a good shooting, but I didn't. They didn't shoot, I didn't shoot. That's good.
Here's what I'm going to say. You pulled it almost every day, for the most part. You really did. So, yeah, like I said, I was in a shooting. Not that I'm not proud of it, but not something I'd like to go over.
Do you ever have to pull your firearm?
No, I never put my firearm out on anyone.
Well, when I first came on, we were still using heavy wool.
She's probably on desk duty and shit.
They called it surge. It soaked up the water. This is the choker. It goes around the neck. The collar is buckled together so tight that they call it a choker. The 70s were one of the first to wear the powder blue. They wanted to show a softer way, so they went to the light blue.
Yeah, I mean, we started with the light blue shirts. They were kind of sloppy. And then, we transitioned to the dark blue shirts, which I wasn't crazy about at first, but I thought it looks a lot better, it looks a lot more professional.
This is standard wear.
Bro, what the? I want to hear about some policing and shit. Look at these fools. They're all posers. They're posing. Professional posers. Expert posers.
And that was the baseball cap.
Come on, fool. Let's talk about the real shit.
But no Korea.
Do
Took the
these
test again, and I
fools
said,
have
this
like
time
a
I'm going.
timestamp?
And I loved it. It was a great time. It was a ticket to the greatest
yeah.
show on earth, as they say.
NYPD.
I joined the NYPD
Why did the
because
cops join the
I lost a
NYPD
family
salaries?
friend in 9/11. His
Sorry, nice lady. I'm trying to read here. Cars, guns, uniforms, salaries. Why do the cops join the NYPD? NYPD assignments, biggest crimes NYPD on 911. What happened to crime rates? Biggest event, George Floyd protest, perception of police. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Perception of police. That's the shit I want to break down right there. NYPD's today. Do the NYPD cops love their jobs? They love their jobs, but they hate the people. Shit. Video's finished, guys. I already broke it down. All right, let's see. Assignments. I don't want to hear about why they joined. Because they were bullied in school. We already know that answer.
In January 1971.
So Utah.
I was sent to the 7-5 precinct in East New York, which is a high crime area, where you learn to be a police officer. From there, I went to narcotics, and this is the time during the crack
So,
era.
Rice Krispies.
And I went to a unit called the crack unit, where we made a lot of arrests on crack. And we were responsible to clean up the crack, get the people off the street. So I made many arrests in narcotics. And then when I finished there, I went into a detective squad. I worked every crime imaginable. And then I retired.
My first command was the 72nd Precinct in Brooklyn, Sunset Park. ESU was what I had always wanted. And at that time, you know, it was a phone call. It was a hook. Did a couple years there, made sergeant, went to the press office, spent 4 or 5 years there. Learned the hard way how things work in the palace, the political aspect of the job, right? And then 9/11 happened. ESU took a big hit, right? 14 of the 23 guys were from ESU. Made some phone calls, and by that afternoon I was transferred back, and then finished up there till 2006.
I started out in Midtown South, and my post was from West 28th Street to West 45th Street, all along 7th Avenue. And that was all on foot, which was a fun time because you got to learn who everyone was. You knew everyone, so you got to learn the neighborhood, learned who lives there, who doesn't. And then when I went...
Let me know what you guys think. Do you think cops should police their own neighborhoods? Give me a 1 if you think cops should be forced to live in the neighborhood they police. Or give me a 2 if you think, nah, fuck that, let them police wherever. Let me know what y'all think, man. That's like, all right, you're gonna be a cop in my neighborhood, motherfucker. We all gonna know where you live and shit. Like, yeah, we're gonna see you at the store. You better stop acting like an idiot, treating everybody like crap and shit, making everybody hate you. What do you guys think? Make them you know, reside in the neighborhood they police, right? Like, police your own hood, bro. Don't come around here fucking, you know, creating enemies and making, you know, this neighborhood hate cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, police your hood and shit. You beat up my people, we beat up your people. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
To the Bronx as a supervisor, I just pretty much covered everything. So I really love my time in the Bronx.
In the 1970s,
That's
they
right,
call it
Jethro.
domestic terrorism. They're very careful with their words. They call it political disturbances. Not one day didn't go by, practically, that there wasn't a bombing or there wasn't a shooting all across the nation. And the people who got hit the worst, New York City was one of them, which had about, just in 1969, probably 50 incidents. And one time they had bombed 8 buildings all in one day. And there was a lot of sympathizers with the militant groups. And when you went out on patrol, you had to be very careful. The most earth-shattering day was when Rocco Lloyd and Gregory Foster were assassinated by the Black Liberation Army. They were walking by a stoop. And as they got past the stoop, 3 people came off the stoop, shot him. No warning, nothing. As Gregory lay on the ground, they shot bullets in each of his eyes. Rocco, they shot him in the groin. So this wasn't just an assassination.
Goddamn.
This was to humiliate. And then they had done nothing. Others were killed.
Wait. You said that quick, homie. They had done nothing, and then he moves on. How do you know? How do you know they weren't involved in mafia or gangster stuff? Or what if they just did somebody dirty? What if they did somebody dirty that was of importance? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. cops were dirty back then too, bro. Don't act like. And that's how cops they behave. They want everybody to think like just because they're a cop and they wear a uniform, you're automatically a good person. You can't tarnish the reputation of the department. So if a cop does something wrong, he did it. He's an individual. He did that by himself. Cops don't say how all their umbrellas of protection create bad cops like Sean Grayson, right? That killed Sonia Massey. Like they create bad cops because they think they can get away with it. So many umbrellas of protection: qualified immunity, internal investigations, police unions, nonstop, over and over again. And I can go on and on and on about their umbrellas of protection. And they always seem to behave in a way that's like, if it's a bad cop, it's an isolated incident. It's not. It doesn't reflect on the department. We cannot tarnish the reputation of the department, and that's what I was calling out Sheriff Judd on as well. Like I can see this shit as soon as they spit it out their mouth. I'm on it.
After that, also, it was significant. These two guys because they were young. 23, 24 years old. They were both in Vietnam. And, a little easier to kill you in Vietnam than it was on the streets of New York. At least it was that way. It should have been that way, and it wasn't. They served their country, and to die like that, that hits. Yeah, that hurts.
So at the time I was assigned Brooklyn South Narcotics, I was literally home sleeping. My middle brother was a construction worker in Manhattan, rang my phone and said, hey, you better get up, you gotta go in, a plane just hit the Trade Center. And I was thinking Cessna, some pilot had a heart attack and hit the building. 40 minutes later, he calls me, he's like, you're going into work, what are you doing? Another plane just hit the other towers. And I'm like, it's too early for you to be drinking, what the hell is that? I got up, turned the TV on, stood there totally amazed. So I'm like, this is bad.
We're gonna move over and
Sounds
talk
like all
about
you
crime
guys
rates.
from all over the city came into Manhattan.
No, not crime rates on that. We're gonna go to.
I would say the biggest thing for my time there was the George Floyd incident. I feel like that one incident changed the way not only we police, but policing across the country. These were people
Hasn't changed.
protesting the murder of George Floyd. These people just wanted to be heard. We were listening to them at first, but it got very bad very quick.
You know why it hasn't changed is because the policies are still the same. The other day I was watching, I think it's like Undisputed with Rashad Ritchie, I think that's his name or something like that. And the whole argument was like racism and stuff like that. I agree that racism is a problem in many departments throughout the nation, if not all. But I think there's a bigger problem. Like I said, police unions earlier, police unions allow bad cops to go from one department to another. That's a massive problem. And that's one massive, not just a crack, but a fucking loophole, how a bad cop like Grayson was able to go and work for that department. And that's why he did what he did. They become emboldened. They become, like I say all the time, presumed authority turns into unbridled power. And that's what he thought he had. So
I saw it from both sides. My time in the police department, people, are arrested all the time. That shouldn't result in someone dying. What I saw as a black woman was hurtful. And I don't think any good cop condoned what they saw. I took this job to help people, as the majority of the people that I worked with. It's almost like what you were working for was kind of like destroyed in an instant.
But that's the thing, it happened to a black person. It makes black people mad. Hell yeah, as it should. But even in the video, like I said, of Rashad Ritchie, I think it was his channel. I could be wrong though. But at the end of the day, at the end of the video, throughout the video, there was no real solution to the problem. There was no, let's rally around this whole police union thing that allows them to go from department to department. Let's get rid of these umbrellas of protection. Let's start putting that shit on the table so we can fix some of these problems. Because even if we wave a magic wand and get rid of fucking racism, the next day we're gonna have to wave signs and say, let's get rid of the narcissistic cops too. And those motherfuckers are dangerous too, because not only do they just hate blacks, Hispanics like myself, whatever, right? They hate everyone. Shit. Imagine how dangerous those cops can be. They hate everyone. So it doesn't solve the problem. Solving the problem is taking away these umbrellas of protection. And earlier, like I said, the umbrellas of protection, they have qualified immunity, internal investigations, police unions. But I said this earlier, and I just got it from watching and paying attention to what I do, right? They also have this cloak of protection of like invincibility, like uncorruptible, like the department cannot be corrupted. So when a cop does something wrong, it's an isolated incident. It's not, doesn't reflect on the image of the department. That's how they continue to, act like, oh fuck, that's a problem. Oh yeah, we need to stop that and we need to police differently. But it doesn't fix anything, because the policies are the same. At the end of the day, the policies stay the same. And whereas I agree, racism is a problem in many departments, if not all. But at the end of the day, where's the solution? That a lot of these channels that talk about police accountability and stuff like that, like I said on that video, where's the solution to the problem? Those are the solutions. Let's start attacking the policies and let's start fixing it, putting it on the table to readjust these policies or take them out or get rid of them completely, like qualified immunity and internal investigations and police unions and all that shit. And that's why Grayson was emboldened to do what he did.
Cop that wasn't even, a part of NYPD. It was tough because people were working for long hours. We were out there all night. When you work a protest, you don't get to say, okay, it's 8 hours, time to go home. You're there until they disperse. So now you have days of that one end. People are tired. People are on edge.
Cops don't complain about that overtime when they're just sitting in their cars, hanging out, doing nothing, standing around. They don't complain about the overtime. Shit, they're giving each other high fives in the locker rooms and everything. Like, psh, fuck. Wait till you see my next paycheck on that one. Psh. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait till you see my next paycheck. They don't cry about the long hours in, right? Look at your fucking empty pockets. They don't cry. All of a sudden, oh, I was tired. I actually had to fucking work. God damn, we were fucking working long hours those days. God damn tired. Try digging with the shovel.
This says we see police get away with murder. As a police officer, when I see statements like this, I feel like they're very blanket. It's kind of like, why are we getting this flack? This did not happen here. There was an incident when I was in the 4-3. A woman was shot and killed, unfortunately, by a fellow sergeant. It was terrible. I knew the guy personally. He's a good guy, very fair guy. And to see people come in that did not live there, try to call him a murderer, try to target his family. Our community were the ones that rallied around us. The people came to the precinct to protest, and our community was right there with them and saying, no, like, you guys don't live here, go home. We live here, we work here, we know our cops. We don't want you here. And they told them that. And those people left. You would see something like this on the news and feel that everywhere, everyone hates police. And I don't necessarily believe that. I don't think it's.
Let me explain it to you, nice lady. Here's the thing, sweetheart. Not everyone hates police. You want to know why? First of all, let's look at the small, tiny ass, letters and numbers on your identifier. You know what I mean? Like, you can barely see it. So you guys are always crying officer safety, yada yada yada. But let me explain why people will go out there and back the police. In nice neighborhoods, you're always gonna have bootlickers, because it makes it easy for cops to get the undesirables out of the area. You're not gonna care, if the cops violate somebody's rights. If there's an undesirable in the area, get them the fuck out of here, right? You go knocking on doors in the nice neighborhoods and you ask them, hey, I'm doing a poll. When was the last time you guys got a ticket? Shit, it's been 20 years. I got a ticket in 1955. You know, I've never gotten a ticket. You go to the hood and you knock on some doors and you ask them, when was the last time you got a ticket? Last week, yesterday, they just impounded my car. Broken window policing. And I gotta tell you, right now I'm doing my best to reach people from the hood and teach them their rights, because they're the ones that get fucked with the most. People in really nice neighborhoods, and it ain't no white privilege thing, folks. It's a fucking money privilege thing. People in these nice neighborhoods, they ain't all white, and they get the same privilege. Cops ain't trying to fuck with them. Fucking no front license plate, tinted windows, fucking cracked windshields. Ain't no, people don't get pulled over out here if you got money. You know what I mean? And it's that's why you're always gonna have the bootlicker community, and that's why in reality there's no, I don't like to focus on troll channels and those people, because you're not gonna change their mind. Their fucking mind is set. We need cops. Let's lick the boot. The people that I believe we need to reach are the people that live in the hood, the people that get fucked with all the time. So let me get a hallelujah on that shit, damn it.
It's accurate all the time, and it's tough. It's tough to see.
So you're happy there was a bootlicker to bootlick.
People who complain will complain about the police because they got a violation, whether it be a traffic ticket, whether it be a parking ticket. But at that particular time, boy, they don't like the police. And something happened, you got robbed, or your house is burglarized. Where's the police? If something happens, they want you to be everywhere.
I think in general, they like us. You know, there's always that faction that's, well, you know, you're an occupying army and you come in here and you run back to Long Island or wherever, which wasn't me, but there was always that group like that.
In my opinion, I don't think everyone hates cops. I think the majority of people want to see cops. Criminals hate cops. It's only how you interact with people and
Hold on. You know how many auditors and people out there recording police and holding cops accountable, they're not criminals? You know how many people reach out to me that say it's important what I do, record police? Even ex-cops tell me how important it is to record police. Just because you don't trust cops doesn't mean you hate cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, lawyers will tell you, don't talk to them. Don't fucking, they ain't your friends. Like, oh, she's talking about, oh, they ain't your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're there to do a job, and that's to secure evidence, find evidence to secure a conviction. That's their job. They have a job to do.
how you talk to people. They're bad eggs in any profession. If I had a bad experience
Same
with a
propaganda.
doctor, I wouldn't say, oh, all doctors are horrible.
Same propaganda.
Do police departments have work to do? Absolutely.
Spitting that worthless foam, nice lady. We've heard it all 100 times. You know, there's always one bad apple. You know, there's always, bad people in every profession. The problem is cops get away with murder. I mean, Brailsford, you know what I'm saying? Arizona, look him up. He got away with murder. Cold-blooded assassination. Fuck. Like, just evil. Look at Grayson. The video I watched of Patrick Bet-David on Valuetainment talking about Sonia Massey. Sheriff Judd started the conversation with, I'm glad he got arrested. Immediately got arrested. But then I paused it and I said, well, we'll see what you think. Should he get convicted? Are you going to make that statement? He should get convicted. He never made that statement. But being arrested is one thing. Being convicted of a crime, of a heinous crime, is another thing. And I can tell you right now, they're not going to throw the book at this fool, Grayson. They're not going to throw the book at him. Nope.
Knowing what I know, I probably would not be a police officer. Not that I loved it. I loved it being a police officer, but you first get there, you're doing midnights, doing 4 to 12s, you're doing 8 to 4s. You're not home for holidays, you're not home for weekends. It's not a great life.
Today, I mean, you watch the videos.
Yeah, you guys have to go on some calls and you guys see some shit, but a lot of times you guys are standing around. You guys standing around for an hour on a call, on a case, and then you go to another case and you act like you're all in a fucking hurry. We got a call. We need you to identify. If you don't identify right now, you're going into cuffs. What happened to fucking... You guys were just standing over there for an hour? Boasting? Doing absolutely nothing? All of a sudden you're in a hurry. For real though.
Guys are mounting off on car stops. Just zero respect. So, terrible. Absolutely could not recommend anybody in good faith taking this job here.
People don't respect
Wow.
police like they used to. When I came on, you respected the uniform. You saw a cop on a post. They told you things one time. That was it. People now, they like to fight. It's the age of social media. People like to film the police and get in the way. Police are afraid.
Get in the way? I have hardly ever seen anyone get in the way of a traffic stop. I've never seen anybody get in the way, say, "Excuse me, officer, I need to stand between you and the person in the car." I've never seen anybody get right in front of the cop while the cop is at the window. She made absolutely no sense. That shit makes no sense. They just don't like being recorded. What she's not telling you is a lot of times you lose your moral compass as soon as you put on that uniform. You lose your moral compass as soon as you put on that uniform.
To make mistakes, makes you
crybaby.
hesitate more, which is just not good for anyone. When I came on, you couldn't even use your phone. Now we have our memo books.
Now NYPD is getting caught all the time, sitting in the cars doing absolutely nothing, sleeping, being on their phones. Is she gonna talk about that? Crickets.
On our phones. We're always using the phone. We use phones to run people's background.
I always see police officers at the train station near me. They always go, they're always on their phone.
That's why they're always on their phone. We're in a
Bullshit.
different age.
Fucking Candy Crush.
I thought I had the best.
I could be lying. This might be a conspiracy theory, but I heard that all the people at the top scores on Candy Crush, they're all cops. Mostly the NYPD. They all fucking own the top scores of Candy Crush.
Job in the world is New York
I just
City
made that
detective.
up, but I'm gonna start a
Solving crimes.
conspiracy.
You start out with nothing and you make a plan, then you arrest them and bring them in to the family. Now they know who killed their son, daughter, or whatever.
Family ever say thank you to you?
So of all the homicides that I solved, I never got a real thank you. And that's part of the job. Don't let it bother you.
I mean, yeah,
What an
I
asshole.
love the job. I delivered a baby one time, a couple of water rescues,
He wants a documentary made about him, guys. How much of a hero he is, right? And he got paid. That's not rewarding. You lived a comfortable life, right? You fed your families. You fed your children. Took them to the theaters. Bought dinner. You ate steaks. You're rewarded. That's your reward. That is your reward for the job that you did. What do you want? You want a parade? You want everybody to send you postcards? You know what I'm saying? Statue? You want a statue? There's a lot of cops out there with statues, folks. A lot of stations with statues of cops. What about the people they killed and was unjustified?
It was the greatest show on earth. It really was. And the politics aside,
No, the greatest show on earth for you guys is the elaborate fucking parades that you have when one of yours passes. You guys, so many cops, so many damn cops. You know what I'm saying? Massive parades for when one of yours goes. You guys like to be revered. You guys want to be looked at like the greatest thing on earth. But when seconds count, cops are minutes if not hours away. They don't want you to have the Second Amendment to protect yourself. They want to be the only ones with guns, right? They want to be the only ones. If there's a criminal creating crimes and you have people there pointing their guns at the criminal and cops come, they're going to want you to put yours away. For real. You know what I'm saying? They want to be the only ones with guns. Gilroy, California, there was a festival, and the guy was at the festival and he was shooting people. And that's why I believe that an open carry society is a safe society. You know, people, you know, you come in an area where everybody has guns, you best behave, you know, with yours. And the guy that was shooting people at the festival, he shot himself. Bam, took himself out. The cops called themselves heroes. They wanted to be considered heroes. The news called them heroes. They came in and they took out the threat, right? The threat was nullified when these heroes came in. They're patting themselves on the back and all that. And then after the autopsy, the guy died by self-inflicted gunshot. Fuck. They gave themselves all the credit, but the guy took himself out. I believe the guy would have been taken out and lives would have been saved if more people were armed that day. So, yep.
let's say, if you're a trooper or some other department, you may be riding the road for 20 years. There is so much here to do, so many different aspects of this job. There's specialized units, there's detectives, there's robbery units, there's emergency service unit, there's an aviation unit, there's harbor unit. There's all these scuba units, all these things to do, as opposed to some other jobs where your best day is going to be the same day at 1 year as it is at 19 years.
I do love the job. Yeah. It made me who I am today.
A propagandist. She's a propagandist. Clearly, a propagandist. She spewed the same shit that we've heard for years and years and years and years. The same fucking argument. The same argument. But we're above that shit, guys. We know better. We know better. Anyhow, man, I'm going to call it, guys. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in, all that good shit. Let me know if you guys like this style of video, if you guys want me to do some more. We'll just watch some videos and shit, man. I'm going to watch some other stuff, too. But we'll talk about it together. You know, I like to read your comments. I learn from you guys, too, man. Scotty says, a true hero doesn't want to be seen as a hero. When they praise themselves as heroes, that's a good sign that they are not ones. You know what's... Yeah. Fuck yeah, Scotty. I agree on that wholeheartedly. Talk about heroes and stuff like that. What about guys that came back from the war in Vietnam? They didn't like to talk about that shit. Not on camera, not even to their families. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had to kill people, whatever they're given a job to do, and they did it. Some may agree that they're heroes. Some may agree that they're not. You know, they say that people just fought wars for the elites and stuff. But I always respect veterans. I think they deserve our respect along the way. And cops should learn from that shit, man. Like, stop calling yourselves heroes. You know what I'm saying? Stop calling yourself a hero. Paid interview, right? Jethro Miller, was that a paid interview? I'm pretty sure those cops got paid to be in uniform and do that interview, right? They better not try to give me a copyright strike on this video, because I'll fucking fight that shit. I got an attorney now, guys, that helps me with shit online. Yeah. But anyways, man, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. You guys made me You guys didn't make me who I am, but you guys helped me grow and spread the message. You guys made me smarter because you guys let me know when I was doing stupid shit, right? Like when I would say, I don't answer questions, and then I'm answering questions. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys let me know. You guys helped me get better at it. But yeah, let me know if, like I said, let me know if you guys like this style of video. We'll do more. All right, peace out.